right, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the broadcast here, the Dota 2 Professional League DPL coming at you, the top-tier action of Chinese Dota. We got LFY taking on iG.Vitality, and right now, of course, iG.Vitality up 1-0 after an impressive performance there. Quite the quick finish in terms of the game all of a sudden ending, but, I mean, at that point, again, it honestly was over, really. It felt like it was, at least, and LFY just didn't want to waste time at that point, so you can't blame them, really. For that concede right there. But anyways, I'm Breaking CBK, joined by PQMZ once again as my co-caster. We got an Abaddon pick to start things off here, so already quite the difference in terms of the draft.
Yeah, I think this is just in July being fairly smart. Banning the Spectres kind of like a throwaway ban almost, and it just opens up this hero to be in the pool when LGD obviously like the idea of banning Slardar and Sent like they did the first game. And I believe we can thank NA Pubs for this addition to our competitive scene. And the cancer has brought upon us. The offlane is no longer safe.
No, it's annoying to deal with, that's for sure. But I don't know, I kind of like the hero. I think he's a fun hero to watch at least. I can understand though playing against him might not be the friendliest, but that borrowed time, kind of resetting fights, and you got to be careful with the play around to that. The Aphotic Shield definitely a nice tool to assist your teammates with, and then of course the Curse to top it all off. That is a nice damage amp for the team as well as himself. So I like the hero, but I can understand why people may not.
It's just so annoying to lane against. Like if you try lane this hero, you might just about zone him out. But if you don't, he's just bullying your safe laner the entire time. The only thing the hero doesn't really excel in is initiating fights through like stuns and stuff, which is what traditional offlaners do. But you can cater to that by so many supports these days.
Yeah. It's
really not a problem or a flaw at all. You can almost run him as a 1 or a 2 and have your mid laner go back to the traditional puck kind of style. Back when S4 was a baller in the mid lane.
Not anymore. He's left to the offlane now. Poor guy.
Yeah, doing his real role.
Monkey King coming out here for iG.Vitality now. So we're seeing a little bit of a switch up here. You guys didn't do too good with it. We're going to go ahead and run it ourselves and do better. So that's what I like to believe they're saying, at least. Crystal Man and Pudge on the other side. I mean, how about that in itself, first off? I mean, Pudge second pick. I mean, Crystal Man has been pretty popular, but a Pudge second pick seems pretty early for that hero.
I don't think I'd mind one or the other, but like the combination of them it doesn't feel good to pick both your supports early, especially when you see this Abaddon and then they compare it with, as they have done, Monkey King, and there's like at least another 3 or 4 good options in the pool to pressure your safe lane. But CM is okay as a laning support, but when she's getting pressured by heroes like this, she's absolutely awful. And Pudge is not a hero that wants to be sitting in the safe lane.
Dire team ban.
Well, yeah, we'll see how LFY progresses with things, but definitely with you, it seems like when you pick up your 2 supports like that, it can cause issue. But unless they're running a core Pudge right here, but that's been long gone
for a while. Pudge.
True.
That is definitely viable. It's less so since all the pools kind of got messed up. And by the way, thank you, Ice Rock.
Isn't there still one pull that you can... I heard there's one pull that you could still maybe do.
I think that's as a Radiant offlane.
Okay.
10 seconds.
I believe. I'm not someone who practices any of this stuff, and if it doesn't show up on Reddit, then I don't really know about it, so...
Yeah.
I think they fixed all of it. And I hope to God they did, because it made the game so, like, cheesy.
I agree. Yeah, no, it's this. Well, kinda. I mean, yeah, like the fact that there's only very niche heroes I could do. Another one being with like the Chuck with Tiny, of course, or the Toss even. But it's just there's some funky interaction that could. One of the lamest that I saw recently was the Earth Spirits pushing the creeps into the trees and just having them sit there. It's like, okay, this is just stupid now. Let's make sure this isn't a thing. But I mean, obviously, there's always going to be things that are found out by players, or like you can't blame that these things happen in the game. I mean, there's just so much that can potentially happen. It's just a matter of being found out. So
yeah, it's just how long you took to fix it, I think.
Yeah.
It's like fountain hooking at TI3 was completely game breaking. But
Oh, yeah.
Rubik pulling Ancient Creeps, I'd argue, is way more game-breaking. Because guess what? He gets to farm Ancients, and he's going to have more GPM than your carry, and he denies a wave. That's some pretty good stuff.
Sounds
But
strong.
now,
5 seconds.
it is hopefully no more. And with the Jug, it's pretty
Radiant team
typical safe laner for LGD, and then OD, pretty strong mid laner. It doesn't feel like you can really fault their draft on too many fronts, other than the fact they don't have too aggressive of like an initiator right now.
Mm-hmm.
But there's plenty of offlane heroes left that can fill the
10
role.
seconds remaining.
The top tier are all banned out, but you can fall back to
5
some
seconds
others fairly
remaining.
comfortably.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess maybe a Sandcare, or even like a Darkseer, I guess, is still available. Don't want to go that route there,
Right.
but
There is Clockwork, but that hero's kind of, it doesn't really do much for their lineup. It's purely an initiator. Even something like Offlane Puck, there's options.
yeah. We did see
None
Bat
of them are
Rider
great,
last
though.
game against the Monkey King also could be an option too, so.
This is a really bad Batrider game, though. Like, Abaddon is very good at taking either the lasso and then not caring about it, or he takes it off because he's always in the front line. Weaver is an annoying hero to A, lane against, and B, lasso in team fights. So if IG want that hero as like a mid lane or something, they could go for that. But for LGD, I think they're going to look elsewhere. Maybe even something stupid like Tide, Enigma. The really big team fight ults could work for them. Because they have a very 5-manish draft, I think.
Yeah.
OD and Jug like to push towers. They aren't the most mobile, of course.
I actually like Enigma here. We have been seeing a bit of Enigma kind of make his way back into the scene, the offlane Enigma, with the black. Not only because of the black hole. The black hole is just a nice, obviously great tool. It brings you together, but really his farm potential is pretty ridiculous. You get the hand of Midas on him. He has that level 15 talent. I want to say it's 120 gold per minute on top of that. You can just get insane farm, get some great items for the team, and be a huge push presence and obviously a big team fight threat. So. I like that option there at this game, as you're suggesting. See if they go it or not.
It's pretty much the same as it was in Hon when I played and you were casting a lot. It was just such a strong hero in all terms of the game. The ult was just a huge deterrent that back in Hon people weren't good enough to play around as they are in Dota now. So it's less easy to land a good one. No offense to it. Everyone was bad 3 or 4 years ago compared to what people are now.
You've just started a shit show.
I mean, it's true though. Like, Dendy's not as good now. Sorry, he's better now than he was at when he won TI.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed.
Everyone's gotten better. Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair, of course. Yeah.
People didn't know how to play around a huge teamfight ultimate. People didn't know about splitting the map and stuff. So now it's more of finding how the hero works when you can't hit 5-man black holes.
Yeah.
And people have found it's still a pretty good hero.
Yeah. I mean, you look back at the early days of MOBAs and you think, I mean, people didn't even deny creeps because it's like, why would you want to kill your own creep? That's silly. That just doesn't make sense. So.
Yeah, I want to push the tower. Oh man, I remember those days.
Yeah. Things have progressed.
World was so much simpler back then.
Wasn't it?
Now if you don't deny creeps, it's go GG end. My carry doesn't control the lane. Anyways, we have a draw. That's a really nice hero to round out their lineup, I think. They have a lot of ways of getting vision through Shrapnel and Swarm, etc. And if they ever get on the front foot in fights, which I think is fairly feasible, at least in the early game, then they're almost guaranteed to get another pick or two. And it's also a hero that splits the map well. If they want to defend as 1 or 2, you can just glimpse heroes away. It's also really good against Void, so I'm kind of surprised they picked it, but
yeah,
it is what they needed in terms of an initiator.
But you're suggesting it's good, I assume, just simply with the glimpse?
Yeah, you can pretty much always lock the hero down, and you help killing him in the lane a lot. You can trade hits with him with your Q fairly comfortably, and then Weaver can come in with Sakuchi. He tries to get away, you glimpse him back, collect some easy money.
Yeah, I'm always a little hesitant too, seeing a faceless void whenever one of your cores, in this case their short lane core, the Juggernaut is melee, obviously. So that could obviously be an issue if you're not careful. in terms of positioning and fights with that
10
Chronosphere. So
seconds remaining.
It's not as bad with Jug though, because you can Omni into the Chrono, and I believe you can hook people out of it from your team, and then like, Jug can beat on that hero instead,
true.
while your OD hits the heroes in the Chrono. So there is definitely some dissynergistic style to it, but the other three heroes in their draft all like Chronosphere being in play, and it's also a really good tool at locking down Weaver, and Abaddon's not really useful when someone gets chronoed.
Yeah.
The shield is such a short range. I'm not so sure how much the Ag's ulti range is, but he's a melee hero that wants to be like hitting heroes in the face. He doesn't want to be getting zoned out by a Chronosphere. So I can definitely see why they picked it. It just happens that Disrupt is also a very good hero against it.
So kind of finishing with that Tri-Core, though. The Faceless Void throwing in with the Juggernaut and the OD here.
I'm
And
pretty
here we
greedy
go.
if they don't get the supports running
Prepare for
early,
battle.
which I could very easily see IG stopping because they have such aggressive heroes in the Monkey and the Abaddon. These supports could be very feast or famine. If they manage to kill them, then they're in a good situation. If they don't, they could be very easily fed on later, and then the game's all on their cores. And they're all pretty farm heavy.
Ooh, LFY smoking up here at the top lane. They do get down the aggressive lane ward. And, you know, I'm actually looking at this Observer ward that he's placing here. The cosmetic of it. Didn't this ward, like, literally just come out today? Like, I thought I saw an announcement.
Yes.
And he has it, man.
Any pro player can just Twitter and say, look, I really like this ward. If anyone has one, hit me up.
Yeah. The perks
Or,
of being a pro.
maybe it's not as rare as some of the other rare chests, and you can get it in 4 or 5 attempts, which is what, if you're going to buy the chest, most people do, I think.
Yeah.
But this smoke was scouted by the wards, so if LFY want to fight this, full well knowing what's going to happen.
Oh, wow. Monkey King's just going in. Wants to steal the bounty rune. If anything, we have a fight, though. Dogfight's up for the fight right here. Trying to get the first blood. No, he's not going to get it, though. Somebody who fell first right there. I want to say it was actually Pudge going down first. Super credit for the kill. And then in return, Monet takes out Dogfight. So a 1-for-1, and Monet's actually going to drop as well. Super gets a double kill on the Disruptor. How about that?
That's so huge. Like, the Swarm level 1 completely wins them that fight. I don't think LFY expected it at all. And now this aggro tri-lane's off to a really, really good start.
How do the bounty runes look? I only see 3 bounty runes picked up, actually. Was one destroyed even?
Yeah, no, the Radiant safe lane hasn't been picked up.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then. Okay, yeah, it's still sitting down there, so obviously control for iG.V right there as well. As they did ninja that rune. On top of coming out on top of the 2-for-1 exchange. So obviously a fantastic start for them. And yeah, going aggressive here at the trial lane. The Monkey King Disruptor, Weaver trial lane up here. You got Pudge, Crystal Maiden, and Juggernaut on the other side. Obviously with a star, you'd probably maybe favor iG.V now if anything, but would you favor them even if it was 0-0 right here in the lane matchup?
I honestly don't think this is the best way they could have put their lanes. Because right now, what's going to happen is Void is going to farm bottom completely uncontested, and Abaddon's going to do the same. So that's a lane that Weaver and Disruptor, you might not completely box him out, but he's not hitting creep like he is now. He's not going to be 8-1 after the first 2 waves. So I think they'd have been much better just doing dual lanes, personally.
Yeah.
Because Abaddon and Monkey King can sit in this lane quite comfortably.
Yeah, Jixing here at the bottom lane. Faceless Foot, he's really putting in those auto attacks. He knows In July is out of mana now, and he's keeping up the pressure using that time walk right there to regen a little bit of life in the meantime. But obviously on top of that, the 9-2 creep farm is mentioned, so far winning that matchup as well. And yeah, you got to wonder how long we're going to sit with this aggressive tri-lane up here. Letting a Faceless Void essentially free farm. What he's going to be able to do with
I
that.
imagine the Weaver and Disruptor will stay up here for a while, and then it's just if the Monkey stays. You see he's already rotating to mid when the OD is getting a bit low. maybe they can look to dive him here.
They want to. Let's not talk about the early Monkey King, man. This is big power of him. He can set up ganks in any of the lanes almost more effectively than any other hero because of the mobility of those trees. But OD, he knows something's up. He's keeping his distance, staying on the other side of the tower, and he's playing it smart and safe. But it is the idea that he is being prevented from farming efficiently because of the presence here.
See him. This is so annoying, actually.
It actually
The
saw
range
him?
creep just aggroes.
Oh, wow.
I mean, maybe he was on like the edge of the tree line, so the creeps saw him.
Huh.
But if you saw the Reddit highlight thing, I think it was on Bulldog's stream. Occasionally, you can just see him. I don't know. It's weird.
Almost spring, but he's
playing this really well.
This is already a tough matchup for OD. Obviously, one of the counter picks you consider against an OD is that sniper, which we really haven't talked too much about yet. But Sakata on the sniper is having a great time, as you would expect. 14-4 against a 9-3 OD right now. But yeah, OD is playing it well enough. The fact that he's living with a possible gank right there, and still getting at least okay farm. It means he's kind of doing his job in a sense. But going to continue to be quite the difficult game here.
I don't think it's too bad if he falls behind early, though, when his Void is basically getting safe lane farm. And the Jug is being contested, but not heavily enough to say his farm's bad by any means. The main thing that's bad for LFY is if both the supports stay in this lane and stay under level. But as long as that doesn't happen and then Jug or OD gets farm and can junction with the Void, they're looking really good. I think IG have a lot to do with their lanes because I think they could have set this up better, and the way they're not accomplishing anything with their Monkey King at the moment is kind of making me worried. They had like really strong lanes, and I think that was a really big timing for them because LFY's cores are all somewhat weak for the first few minutes. You can argue that Jug isn't.
They see Weaver here. I mean, he might be dead, actually. Central Ward scouting him out initially. He thought he was fine with the Shikuchi. He's going to barely be out of range, though. He will survive. Now, Monkey King in the background. Super gets a kill on a Pudge, and they're going to get the kill on a Crystal Maiden as well. The spin, however, gets a turn kill on a Monkey King. Ends up being a 2-for-1, however, in favor of iG.Vitality. And that all started with Paparazzi getting jumped himself. Again, that Central Ward spotted him initially, but the kinetic field allowing him to Shikuchi on out and survive there.
Yeah, and I don't know what his wand was at, but that was a huge amount of heal for him. He definitely judged that well and played to the limits of his hero. And that's the kind of stuff they need to have go their way right now because their lanes aren't setting them up for success. Their plays have to do a lot for them. And now it's coming much more down to like executing and reading the map well. Because while Abaddon's farming decently bottom, the Void's definitely getting the better of the matchup. Mostly down to the items he went, like getting the orb when the Abaddon went for the Quelling Blade means you can just trade with him constantly, and then whenever he shields, you pop the shield, you time walk away, and hopefully you bash a few times. You're always going to win the trade like that.
Yeah, he's been definitely not afraid to
Even
trade his
with
auto
Auto.
attacks here. Wait, who went? Oh, Abaddon did, yeah.
Abaddon, due to the lane pressure.
Huh.
It's not something you always see. You normally see people go like Phase Vlads, which has the inbuilt regen components where you're laning. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just due to the laning matchup. He feels pressured into going this item instead of something that offers for stats, whereas Void is going like headdress and stuff. He's winning the lane.
He was hoping the bounty rune was there, but it was already picked up, that 6-minute bounty rune, so he's going to walk all the way back to the bottom lane now, so a little bit inefficient use of his time, but again, he didn't really know any better. Look at this, Monkey King kind of sneaking in, as it looked like it was a clarity potion right there. Not so sneaky when clarity potion's kind of moving across the... But at the same time, I mean, I guess it kind of could be. When you, like, as a spectator, we kind of see that, we can laugh at it, but when you're playing, when you're focusing on last hits and that sniper doing damage to you, like, maybe you won't notice that clarity potion slowly moving next to you. Top lane, by the way, Paparazzi. Here comes a Primal Spring, though. Trying to set up a turn kill. Nice hook on a Paparazzi right there. Brings it back in. He's trying to set up the kill on him. At least they won't get it. But at what cost for Monet? He pops down the healing ward, but that boundless strike with the charges added up. Easy kill coming out. So another 2-for-1. They do lose their Corn Weaver, but they get the counter Corn Juggernaut, as well as the Pudge.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good for iG. Gives their monkey a bit of space in the lane, and their supports get a few levels. Is it just me that's lagging, or is the server broken?
I seem like I'm pretty good here. I'm not noticing too much, more than typical lag at least.
Yeah, I will just do a reconnect then.
Okay. Yeah, whenever that does happen, yeah, reconnect hopefully can help fix that issue. But yeah,
Perfect
Faceless...
world, baby rage.
Yeah, right. Faceless Void, actually, middle lane. OD will survive right here. Barely. The Assassinate's going off. I don't think it's going to be enough damage, though. Oh, maybe with the Boundless Strike. Not enough problems to bring in, but it cannot connect. And OD enough distance away to ultimately survive. But that was so close right there. The catch on a Disruptor not going to happen, though. Nice hook dodge. Oh, he almost ultied from Faceless Void with that Chronosphere. He thought about it, but thought twice. Figured he wasn't going to get the kill, so no point of wasting that ultimate. Even if you do want a Disruptor, you got to wonder if that would have been worth it in the first place. So holds on the cooldown, and instead we'll go back towards the bottom lane, or maybe stick around for a little bit longer. But I was going to pose a question to you, speaking of Faceless Void right here. He is going the Helm of the Dominator, which, so we just had that discussion last game, but in this case, Faceless liking that option. How important is it going to be here for this dire side that Faceless Void is having really good farm, that he's a top farmer, in fact, on the team?
I think because the free cores are all like pretty greedy, him having a good start just makes their game so much easier. It puts a lot less pressure on the supports to make plays. Because if this hero had been in a typical offlane scenario and he was getting zoned out and, you know, like scrapping for farm, he doesn't have the luxury of doing what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
And they're setting up kills with the chrono, and
Oh, I'm watching the top lane meanwhile, so OD ends up going down at the no, that was in July going down at the bottom lane now, but meanwhile on top lane, they do get the kill on a Juggernaut that clips back on him, brings it back in to secure it, and they still want more. Crystal Maiden in trouble. White, though, on that punch, he locks down Monkey King with the in the face, actually, with the Raw. I guess he didn't have it. That almost looked like a Dismember right there, but he's on level 4. Anyways, you get the kill on him, but he ends up falling shortly after. And Weaver going to kind of walk it off and continue to farm himself. So a lot of back and forth interaction there at the top lane. But yeah, as we saw, though, by the score sheet at least, the bottom lane, they also killed Abaddon with the rotations there.
oh, and in the mid as well. Like, this is where it helps so much that you have a hero like Jug instead of things like Anti-Mage. He goes into a lane after he dies and he just pops his ult, and OD is really easy setup for anyone to rotate in. I was just about to say, like, with what happened top, I think they might want to start abandoning this lane a bit, because iG are getting a lot of success up here, and LFY are pretty much winning their other two lanes really comfortably. Now Void has Helm. He's a super strong hero. Like, I'd say he's definitely one of the few cores I would still pick this item up on, because the creep works in Chronosphere. Same way that Manta and Necrobook does. So you get a lot of benefit and gives you a bit more solo kill potential to heroes that aren't Abaddon.
Oh, that Chronosphere, of course, going to be on cooldown for a little bit longer here, but once it's back up, see if he goes for another opportunity. But again, he has that Hellbear Smasher nearby. Going to help go for potential solo kills mentioned. Sniper, meanwhile, he's using his farm to build him to that Dragonlance, of course, has the Ring of Aquila, the Phase Boots, pretty typical stuff here from Sakata coming out as he gets the Ogre Club, at least delivered currently. I want to look at Weaver real quickly, too, though. This is going to be really odd to say right now, but from the trends lately, we have not seen boots on Weaver a lot lately, yet he gets a full-on power treads here. Does Paparazzi. Does that, what do you think about that idea of the no boots and him getting boots here with the power treads even?
I've definitely gone back and forth on the debate myself for the longest time, but I think the main benefit to getting treads in this situation is he's fighting a lot. Treads is a really good fighting item. It just gives you so much efficiency for your spells. And it's not a game where you really want to be avoiding that.
He's going to get caught in the Chronosphere. He's dead.
Yeah.
Just as we're talking about that decision. He's a little tankier, unfortunately not tanky enough there against a couple of ultimates.
No item saves you there.
Yeah.
No item. Only your teammates save you. So that was a really, really good chrono from him, catching on the edge, meaning Poach can follow up. But if you went, like, you could have a Perseverance instead of your treads, right? And that would lead you to having a slightly better peak around the 15 to 18 minute mark, but you'd be a lot weaker before that, and I don't think their lineup wants that. They want to be strong right now.
Dire's bottom tower is
So
under
that's
attack.
probably why he went treads.
Yeah.
There's different peaks to different builds. I think you should always get at least brown boots on the hero just because it's kind of like a Midas. 400 gold to move faster and get to the camps quicker means you farm more.
Mhm.
But certain games, I can definitely see why people don't do it anymore. And I'm an advocate for both. I think it's just player preference. And sometimes captain's
Dire's
preference as
middle
well.
tower is under attack.
Like, if they
Yeah.
say they want to win a lot, then you don't want to have an inventory full of like regen items and a bottle. You want treads,
Dire's
stat
structures
items.
are fortified.
And hopefully they pay off for him because he's going to be a very important hero this game.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, definitely a very reliant core. At least iG.Vitality is relying on him to be useful, no doubt. So, middle lane, by the way, White almost landed a hook right there on a sniper, going for even a solo kill that is member follow-up. But the creep got in the way and thus tanked it. He has done a good job, though, of landing a couple hooks even on teammates so far to either try to save them or end up saving them.
Radiant's bottom
The
tower
scan that we
is
see in the
under
earlier
attack.
phase. But how about this? We're going to be seeing a tier 2 tower push by iG.Vitality pretty early on, and not only that, but a fight going to be commencing, it looks like. In the background, Disruptor, he's kind of in a bad spot. He does have Static Storm. He can't get it off in time, though. In comes the Wukong Commando from Dogfights right there. And that'll kind of zone them out, if anything.
Radiant's bottom tower
Gonna allow the
is under
rest of the
attack.
team to try to walk away as Paparazzi. He'll go through the shrine area. Hook, maybe? No. Not gonna happen. So they all get out despite the Disruptor, but he's up in 5 seconds. Oh man, this Chronosphere, he wants to go. Yeah, he's going. He wants to get the sniper. They do catch the sniper. Here comes the stun, the balanced strike off to the side, but it's not going to be enough. The hook in, and sniper will fall. Static Storm, kinetic field, though, on 4 heroes, actually, but there's no follow-up. That's got to feel so unfortunate for iG.Vitality. That's the god Static Storm right there.
Dire's top tower is
No
under
follow-up
Easy hook
damage,
as
though.
well. Oh, never mind.
That missed.
That creep did not look like it would block it.
No.
But what IG wanted to do with that top lane, I think, was like completely correct. But they just
being denied.
had the wrong hero in the wrong position, and LFY were in a position to capitalize, and they can continue fighting here, I think, because of the way position.
Yeah, in July, he does have borrow time still, not being procced right there. As I say that, though, it finally goes off, trying to stop that damage. Meanwhile, they return on to OD, puts the Sanity's Eclipse out. He does go down, though. In return, the Omni Slash bounces around a little bit, doing some damage, but now the Shrapnel charge is being used, and the Assassin, are you kidding me? He ends up denying himself despite the Assassinate going off right there. He will get the kill onto LPC, however, but nothing more frustrating when something like that happens. Hero denies.
Dire's middle tower is
Good
under
old
attack.
Pudge.
Yeah, it's pretty tilting. Luckily, because they win the fight so handily, though, I don't think they're going to care about, oh no, Push denied himself.
Yeah.
And that kind of rectifies the mistake they made at the top lane where they played a kill or two. Because their lineup is very reliant on this stage of the game going well. Sure, they have fallback tools in terms of Sniper being a very strong late game hero, and Weaver can also scale amazingly. But you don't really want to be going to this core of effectively 4 heroes, because Poach is a monstrous late game hero in comparison to like Monkey King and Disruptor.
Yeah.
Like, you're just stronger early, so you want to use it. And they're continuing to attempt to.
Oh, that was awkward. The face is void. He got glimpsed back, kinda. Static Storm is going to somewhat hit the kinetic field, missing, but not enough lockdown, though. He's able to leap away. Freezing field in the background, going to be canceled, though. And now Jixing still on the run. He's somehow still alive throughout all this. Another runaway right there and a heal up, and he will be fine. And there's the counter kill onto Monkey King. Now, Crystal Maiden did get picked off, meanwhile. Faceless Void, though, he has another time lock, worst case scenario. In the background, White is picked off, however, by Sakata. Looks like the shrapnel charge is doing him in.
Chrono's
over
back
here.
up now.
Oh, it is back up. He wants to fight Weaver, but the time lapse right as he was jumping in. It's a good thing he didn't use that Chronosphere, or else that would have been a whiff right there, it feels like. And that will be the getaway for Paparazzi in the end. So nice escape by him right there to run out. And yeah, that was all because they started onto Faceless Void there, but Jixing did a great job of actually escaping there initially.
Yeah, the Disruptor just didn't hit his spells properly, so that made the fight a lot harder for them, but they still come out on top of it because LFY didn't have Omni, they didn't have Chrono when the fight was in the middle of it, so it was a lot easier for the Radiant side to like get in, get out. It's only going to get harder for them, though, I think, when items start coming in, so I think they want to keep the pressure off.
Well, Sniper right here looking to find more farm in the middle lane meanwhile. As that Dragon Lance again, and now working on that full-on Hurricane Pike. Paparazzi, though, he's hunting with the Monkey King up here at the top lane. Again, Monkey King, really, the idea that he's going to constantly get information for you throughout the jungle and whatnot, and so you want to have heroes that are looking to be active as a result of that, and trying to be a part. Meanwhile, speaking of being active, there's an active hook on Disruptor. He gets pulled in, and they take him out pretty easily, so a little too active.
So YOLO this game. Like, he's going way in front of his team consistently, and just getting super punished for it.
Yeah, just seems silly. Abaddon, he's running. He's got borrowed time.
He's getting bashed.
Gonna pop the drums. Those bash procs definitely coming into play. Borrowed time, though, will help keep him alive, so. Yeah, how about that drums choice on Abaddon? I know you mentioned the idea of Vlad's, which seems a little more typical, but drums has been getting a couple of buffs recently, and decided to go that route instead. And now he does have the Radiance queued up, too, by the way. As, Omni Slash on him. He doesn't have borrowed time. They know this. And that's a kill. What a find there by Monet. Playing the Juggernaut.
That was such a good sequence of events for them. Like, they killed the Disruptor who was trying to invade their woods. They get a tower, and then in July also just wrong place, wrong time. The drums argument, I think Vlad's or drums are pretty interchangeable. It's just, I don't think Sniper and Weaver get the most out of Vlad's in comparison to heroes like, I don't know, Jug as an example.
Yeah.
So the drums probably just makes it a bit easier for them to chase, and at the end of the day, that as a startup item or Vlad's would accomplish roughly the same for the hero. But I don't think they're massive difference. Vlad's definitely scales better though, so I think that says to the fact they don't want to worry about scaling too much. That they're going for very early game based items. Like Weaver going full stat based with the Dragon Lance, same thing with the Sniper. Not so sure the Hurricane Pike's the best use is money right now, but maybe he feels he needs a way to get away from the Pudge and avoid in fights more so than deal damage. Because the way they've been taking the fights, the Abaddon hasn't really been able to make a lot of space for them.
Yeah, that would be my guess. The Chronosphere especially, that biggest, of course, threat on the other side. And last thing you want to do is get locked down in that or have a teammate locked down in it without a way to kind of help them out. So I would think that's kind of the logic there.
That's the only problem. But yeah, outside of Chrono, they still want to be in your face, right? So can see why he picks it up.
Oh, they're in the face. This Disruptor again continues to be in the face of the enemy. Out comes the Wukong's command, though. Crystal Maiden may end up falling himself. The Static Storm doing a lot of work, but not enough. Locked in again. Faceless Void. Able to time walk away. OD
So
chase now.
damage.
Imprisonment. They catch somebody back here. That would be the Monkey King. He's put down. That Wukong's command, though, continue to do work. There's White with the defensive hook right there. The Assassinate coming out. Oh, but the glimpse back in, though. And OD, he's going to put himself under yet again. He'll manage to survive. In the background, we got Faceless Void chasing down Disruptor and going to finish him off as he time walks in. What's going on up here? Abaddon, he's trying to just run away meanwhile. And that's the two supports going down for the side of iG.Vitality. So, yeah, again, a case of these supports, especially Disruptor, not afraid to be so offensive. Bottom lane, Weaver going at it with Juggernaut. He did use his time-lapse right there. But Juggernaut will actually deny the tower in the process. As Sakata's picked off at the top lane now. Meanwhile, the Chronosphere was used.
And now the CM is in major problems. And so is for Jug.
Juggernaut spinning away. Nice hook on a Weaver, though. Gets the kill on a him. Monet trying to live. Not going to happen, however, but at what cost for Abaddon? And now it's his turn to possibly fall. Pops that borrowed time. Going to stop attacking, of course, but now he realizes he has to run. Can we maybe get some bash procs out? Going to need that White. Can he land a hook? Those are the couple of keys that they potentially have. There's a Blink Dagger forward, but just simply cannot stay close enough. So Abaddon will survive, and man, both the top and the bottom lane, that was a chaotic fight all over the place there.
Yeah, it's a really scrappy game so far, but I think IG are starting to hit the point where they're no longer strong enough to take the engagements. You see when they fought with the Disruptor and the Monkey King ult, they just couldn't quite do enough. A, they weren't all there when the spells got dropped, and B, OD's getting big, healing wards becoming a huge factor now, and this Pudge is absolutely destroying them with these hooks. Like,
Yeah.
I think LFY are just in a position now where they can snowball the game if they don't get
Well.
by a shrine.
Right as you say that, yeah, both OD and Pudge actually go down, and fighting at a shrine always going to be risky, so a couple of turn kills there, and this is going to open up a free Roshan. So just mentioning right before that statement you made that this is continuing to be a pretty chaotic game, and I think that's going to continue to be the case. I don't know if I'd lean towards either team having a true advantage in a game like this, because it just seems like both teams just going pretty crazy right here with some strategy, and it just seems to be a lot of back and forth. But iG.Vitality, obviously at this point, the momentum tends to lean back in their favor with now the Aegis pickup onto the Weaver, who does have that Desolator with the Dragonlance.
Yeah, it's completely game-saving for them. And this is why I love the game so much. It's like one bad decision like that, where your opponents can actually capitalize on it, completely turns how the game's looking. Now they have this huge lifeline where they can fight with Aegis into a lineup that before that it's stronger than they were. Now the game's equalized so much and they have more avenues to play other than play defensive and farm, which is what I think they would have defaulted to if they couldn't get the kills they did.
See Monkey King here with that medallion pick up as well. Eventual Solar Crest, I'm sure. Well, actually, yeah, he's going to be getting that Skull Basher first instead. But Solar Crest in general has been an item that we have been seeing a lot post 7.03 especially. But I think really with 7.0 when it first was kind of buffed up a bit, and people are somewhat trying it out here and there. But really I've seen it exploded within this last week even, kind of being much more of a popular pickup. So Monkey King, again, going to continue that trend there.
It's mostly due to like a lot of the melee cores like Nate's, Jug. They're not heroes that want to be hitting solar crested targets, and it just gets you so much value. It's always funny how the support items work. There's always a trend where certain patches, like when Glimmer came out, it was the most ridiculous thing, and everyone would just buy Glimmer regardless of the game state because the Impus was so strong. And then before that, it was like you'd always have like a Venge or a Dazzle with a medallion from Roshan and stuff. It's weird how it cycles around.
Well, we're in the cycle of the Solar Crest, it feels like.
Definitely.
How's the farm looking on the cores over here? The Manta Diffuse will pick up on Juggernaut, so again, he has that kind of core. The Blink Dagger queued up. Faceless Void, we mentioned the Blink Dagger on him. Now he has a Yasha into his own Manta style. Going to be coming out as well, so kind of building into that the semi-core, of course, here on the side of LFY. And then OD topping it all off, his own Hurricane Pike and his own Blink Dagger. A lot of mobility here on LFY's side across the board. All their cores are going to have a Blink Dagger here to be able to jump on in.
Kind of just typical items for all the heroes. And it just speaks to like how the game's played right now. Mobility is king.
I'm trying to use it right there to maybe catch the Weaver, but especially with that Aegis, not wanting to take too much of a risk there. This Smoke Ink, however, from LFY,
Dire's top tower
looking for
is
some
under
kind of
attack.
opportunity. The Wildering Ripper, he's kind of the moving ward for them. They will eventually be exposed. Abaddon throws on the Aphotic Shield. Doesn't have any more charges on the drums. Obviously still the RN itself is doing an effect, but unable to amplify it. Faceless, he's lining up. He wants to land a big Chronosphere. They know he's up here, though. He's going to start time walking away. He's in more trees, however. Those trees, a nice barrier for him. He will pop the Chronosphere. He gets hooked back, actually. The Assassinate coming out. He will barely survive. And a time walk to healing up. There's the healing ward as well. So, interesting sequence of events there. But Chronosphere is now on cooldown. So, iG.V, they're feeling a lot more confident all of a sudden.
Yeah, this is where LFY are like, oh crap, that was bad. That tower's dead now.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
That's some pretty big miscommunication on their part, I think. And it's not the biggest deal. They didn't lose any heroes. It's a 2-minute cooldown. There's only the tower they took available. Roche is down, so there's no like subsequent objective.
Well, the objective to kill the Disruptor. Being accomplished here by LFY. At least that's the game plan. Wukong's command coming out there in the background on dogfights. Paparazzi He's up here. He still has that Aegis on him. Just remember locking him down. That might go off right here. He's out of mana, so maybe not the worst deal ever. He wants to die, but they kill Pudge instead, and Faceless Point goes away. So, yeah, they don't want to kill him. They don't want to proc that. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Sanity's Eclipse is used, and that just guarantees the Aegis use. So I thought that was actually going to be a good game plan there from LFY, but then Super had other plans as he decides to finish him off and pop the Aegis. Now, actually, Faceless was also picked off over here with no buyback currently. So Monet, he's going to hold his own. Borrowed time activated. Abaddon will run away, but the Assassinate being channeled. Boom, shakalaka. Double kill on Sakata. Picked up right there, and Juggernaut does have a buyback, but without that Faceless for 30 seconds. This could be at least a tier 3.
Yeah, they want a tower or a buyback.
Oh my god, the
I think
sniper,
they can
man.
quite feasibly get both. Especially when they're like they do not know what they're doing right now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it seems all sporadic, but I guess that's been the theme of the series, let alone this game especially. White, he gets the dismember,
No
gets the
rampage.
kill on Abaddon, but it comes at a cost right there. Omnislash bouncing around. A lot of targets to bounce to. Sakata, though, he took a run of that damage right there, and he ends up falling in the long run. That's a nice bounty as well for Monet, about 920 bonus gold for him. So not too shabby in the end. Pudge and Crystal Maiden also buying back throughout that. Now Disruptor, he's having a run away, gets a time dilated right there, so gonna be slowed
Oh,
down
the juke.
somewhat, but I mean, was that really a juke? Like, he kind of just ran up.
I mean, if you get away from someone, it's a juke.
I guess so. He's gonna survive.
I mean, he's dead,
He's
but
delaying
he's buying time.
Yeah. Yules?
Yeah, this is the most useful thing he can do right now.
Well, they get him in the end. They didn't even get the tier 3, did they? Wow.
No, they dove a bit too hard, but I can't really blame them considering the OD was such a juicy kill there, and then they just got punished. But they're definitely in the driver's seat still after that. They're in a position now where the Aegis leveraged them to be able to get this far ahead, and if they can get the next one, then they're looking in a really good spot to be able to at least get a set of racks. Because LFY's main way of killing heroes is you chrono, hook someone out, kill the hooked target, and use the chrono as like a barrier that they can't pass.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work so well with an Aegis unit just hitting your racks. And you also can't kill the Abaddon, so that's two heroes that are like untargetable for LFY. And their cores don't deal in excess amounts of damage yet. It's now completely tipped the other way. Like the seesaw is just going back and forth in like 5 to 8 minute intervals, and it's definitely in ITV's favor now.
Well, I mean, to be fair as well, though, this is the biggest we've had by quite a bit, actually, in favor of IGV, looking at the net worth chart at least, upwards of, in that 8,000, 7,000 range or so. But, before that, it was maybe 3,000 at most. So, yeah, the lead is definitely getting bigger for IG.Vitality. So, you even said LFY maybe was looking good earlier, and I can't blame you for that. But this time, I believe you a little more. IG.Vitality feeling pretty good about where they stand currently. A BKB of 10 seconds on a Weaver, also helping the cause. And he has his own Diffusal, actually, going to be coming out here as well on a Weaver. So, more damage. Is there anything that he's really looking to purge, or is it more so just a damage item here, you think?
It's chase potential and ghost scepters in the future if they do opt to pick any up, which you wouldn't blame like CM and Pudge for doing, but they're opting for different routes. So a lot of Weavers, just honestly, almost every Ashy hero can buy this item and you don't complain about it. It's always got some use to it. It's 3,000 gold for so much value. Ever since they nerfed it, it's been slightly less versatile, but I think people are realizing it's still such a strong fighting item.
Yeah.
When the Jug picked it up first item last game, I was kind of like, I'm not convinced, but he got a lot of work done just by using this purge. And you don't feel like you're wasting the charges either now.
Oh, Weaver caught middle lane. Sanity's Eclipse. They were using
That's
everything,
huge.
but that's a dead Weaver for 70 seconds. No buyback. They're also going to get Disruptor on top of this. He throws out the Static Storm. Wukong's command in the background, so maybe not going to get Disruptor. Now, Wukong's command really zoning them out right here. It's still enough damage, however, in the end. As Sniper from a distance trying to do plenty himself, but Abaddon's now kind of locked down. He's by himself. Of course, Borrowed Time is going to be activated right there, but he's still alone, and he doesn't really have the best getaway right here. He's going to die, isn't he? Yeah, Sniper's doing what he can from a distance, but he also doesn't have a buyback. So, oh man, this game, just as we're saying, and I mean, the stats reflected that iG.Vitality all of a sudden is in a really good spot. Then these catches happen. Weaver, no buyback. Chronosphere, now they're going to push towers.
Yeah, numbers are completely irrelevant when you don't play to use them. It doesn't matter if you've got 8,000 net worth lead as a whole team when you lose your 15k net worth hero at the start of the fight. To honestly minimal spells, they only really used Chrono and Sanities, which, yes, they're two huge ultimates, but they still have more to deal with the fight on top of that.
Yeah.
Especially when you with like your 2 AoE ults from the supports. Like, they had to use them, but there wasn't any follow-up there because Weaver was dead and Sniper was not in a position to go in.
Yeah, they were way too spread out right there to be assisting the Weaver initially, and then to have it kind of follow like it did, it's at that point of you just got to retreat and everyone fall back. But obviously they really wanted to try to save their core. They were way too late, and then it kind of had that snowball effect here. Pudge.
Yeah.
The Swarm coming out. He's running for the bug though, but he can't run from the glimpse. And we brought back. He has a blade mail to stall a little bit. And you're right, Yules.
His team's not even moving. Like, his boy's farming a camp, and I mean, they have no chrono, so it's understandable. They just like, all right, screw it. You got caught out. Let's not do anything stupid here.
I mean, God,
there was a shrine.
Yeah, there was a shrine. Abaddon wasn't there either. He was at the top lane, so I think they really could have actually fought that. I mean, that's in hindsight, because we didn't know he would live that long, to be fair, but...
I mean, they had a lot of vision around the area as well, so if they didn't want to fight with that much vision around the area, then it's like, it's a captain's call at that point. It's like, no, we're not going to do anything stupid. We're going to hopefully not lose Roche due to this. This is what the smoke's for, and they got a DD on the jug, so it's about as good a time as
he's
any.
Going in, baby. Double damage. Rune going for the quick kill. He gets glimpsed. No, the man style, yes. He's going to be pulled back right there. But now the jump in from Juggernaut spinning on top. Rocha still plenty alive, but Monet, he is dropping like it's hot. He will go down. No buyback for him. They also get the kill on a Crystal Mania who thought freezing field in the midst of everyone would be a smart idea. That's not going to work too well. Monkey King picked up on the other side. Hurricane Pike away from Super. He realized he has to fight things. I'm taking you with me, bitch. Sanity's Eclipse will do just that, so at least gets the turn kill as he goes down to Assassinate. That's not going to be enough damage, and he does have a Shrine to be able to pop right there. White, meanwhile, in the midst of everyone, he is tanky target, as he's shown several times so far, so it's him and the Faceless. They want to make a play right here, and the Weaver almost gets caught. One auto attack away. The Time Walk in the wrong spot. The Sentry Ward not going to hit as a result, and Weaver will escape, and now the Dilation on Disruptor. Going to run him down, but there's that glimpse, and going to be able to Time Walk right back in, though. And this Disruptor, he does have kinetic field, maybe. Try to even stall more, but no, the blocks of the illusion, and they finally find him to secure the kill. Well, I think I said it before, but another chaotic fight in this game.
That's not too bad for LFY, though, because they don't lose for Roche, which is the big enabling tool for IG. I don't think they're super comfortable pushing their lead without an Aegis, just because of how strong Hook and Chrono are when it comes to taking fights anywhere on your side of the map.
Oh, wow, Weaver. Yeah, I had to pop that time lapse as he got hooked in right there, but there's that Glimmer Cape. And a safe white, but yeah, especially with how that started for LFY, you know, the Chronosphere initiation, but that glimpse pretty immediate from Disruptor actually gave them a fighting chance. In that fight,
the OD wasn't hitting into the Chrono either. He tried to kill the Monkey King, which I think was the correct decision, but then it just put the Jug in no man's land and a tiny bit of miscommunication.
Yeah.
Just meant it was harder for them. But they have Chrono for the second engagement, and all the heroes are up in a huge hook.
Oh my god, that hook.
Perfect target as well.
And there's the ultimate, and no, the Aegis was picked up by Paparazzi, but the Chronosphere locking them down. However, the nice counterplay, Faces Void forced to go out. There's a Wukong's command. Again, trying to zone them out. OD in the background pops that new Shiva's of his, puts himself under with the imprisonment. Paparazzi now standing toe-to-toe with the Faceless, but there's a time walk away in July. Pops his ultimate, but he's not being healed up really much. They did a good job of not doing damage to him, really. So they're killing off the bugs. The freezing field used right there, but canceled shortly after, not really hitting too much. In July still on the run, but no borrow time this time around. And thus, he is going to fall for good. Sniper still dead for 40. Abaddon dead for another 80 now. I mean, Weaver has the Aegis, but he can't really stop this Tier 3 push here.
Not unless he runs down mid and drags for creep wave. That's like the only way he stops this push, and it's too late now. So LFY with some huge hooks.
Yeah, no.
And now they should be able to collect the racks off this. Because there's no ults from either of the supports, so they're pretty much just whatever items they're offering at this point. And Weaver's not big enough.
When you second pick a Pudge, again, it's oh no, okay. You know, I was just about to praise the guy. Now, obviously, that's not his
He's
fault.
played really well.
That's not his fault
blocked him
whatsoever.
there.
Yeah, no, that was his teammate blocking him right there.
But blame the OD.
Exactly. No, but he's done fantastic. Here's the point: he may need to make another play right here. Monkey's still kind of leaping around, and they want to fight. They do not have Abaddon though. The Dismember locked down on a Weaver. He does have time. No, he doesn't have time left. Actually, he's going to go down. The Aegis, of course, going to be popped as a result. Well, they reset on this. Chronosphere, it's up in 10 seconds. Up in the back, what's this about? Actually, OD going in.
Run.
Oh, man, Static Storm locking him down, though. He's in a lot of trouble right here. Can he somehow get away? Glimmer keep on him and puts himself under. Blink
He's
Dagger, Chronosphere, it's coming up. It goes up. Weaver's in trouble. He does not have a buyback, I believe. He's going to go down. He does have a buyback. So he can't use it right here if he finds it necessary. Kinetic Field kind of trapping them in as well. OT, he just keeps barely staying alive, man. Some way, somehow, disco style in this fight. Crystal, man, speaking of the disco, she's using her freezing field right here, dancing to the music, doing plenty of damage. At least anyone that's nearby, but it's really kind of zoning out the supports to this Abaddon, is what it feels like, if anything. How is that OD still alive also? He's at half life. He's good, man. That healing ward. Bringing it back up. Oh, my gosh.
And the mobility items, just like Astral and Blink on this hero makes it... It's kind of like a puck. It's super annoying to kill. The only difference is it does actually good amounts of damage, unlike the former. And considering they were all pretty much at like a third of their health when that fight kind of started, when the OD got caught out and then they chronoed, they're all at full health now. I thought they had to back and they were being a bit greedy staying there, but they just played that fight perfectly. They executed all their spells correctly and they played their heroes to the limits, and it pays off. Now this is number 2 on the racks.
I'm sure I'm just as shocked as iG.Vitality is in terms of just how much sustain that they're proving to have. Yeah, the fact that they're all full life and full mana. They just had an epic couple of fights in their base, it felt like, and they're just easily now going to get the bottom racks. And iG.Vitality not throwing in the towel just yet, but I mean, now they're down 2 sets of racks. So much for talking about how they were in a good spot. I mean, look at the net worth graph completely going the other direction. Almost a 15,000 net worth swing of sorts in favor of LFY, and they're upwards of 15,000 experience lead here to top it off now. And obviously the items really kick it. Is anyone level 25 yet? Man, Faceless Void is actually going to hit 25 first of all heroes.
He's basically been that one position hero the entire game with how much farm he had.
I wonder what he gets. This isn't a hero we see often, so I mean, both seem pretty legit, but the range, yeah.
I think evasion's just, as I said earlier, mobility's king. Evasion's nice, but mobility is like so much better.
Yeah. Oh man.
And it also means.
Well, that's initiation right there to kill Disruptor at least really quickly. Dismember in the background on Monkey King. OD putting the auto attack to finish him off with those arcane orbs. And they also catch the Weaver, who does not have a buyback for 100 seconds, by the way. That's definitely a dieback, and that could be the beginning of an end right here. As Abaddon,
the sniper's also dead.
He'll live. The sniper also dead. Yeah, he's going to, force that from the left side into the Eclipse. Hits, not for the kill, though. He's going to try to hide. They don't have detection.
Oh, no, they don't have detection.
Awkward.
It's on the CM. The slowest hero with no mobility.
No!
Oh, he finds it!
Oh!
He had no hook, he had no... Oh,
that would have been
that
epic.
feels so bad. Okay, so maybe without the sniper dying, it's not over. You can forgive me for thinking he would die there, I believe.
Yeah.
Please don't hate.
I thought he was dead. I mean, he should have been dead.
Toby, never talking definites. Never ever. They're still in such an overwhelming position though. Like, even if that doesn't result in them taking the third set of racks, that's all their cores are in like full swing now. And it's getting to a point where they could honestly die several times and still win fights.
10 minutes ago, we were saying iG.Vitality is looking very good right now in this game. So let's refrain from saying too much here. That LFY is going to win this game, man. Because who knows? The 3-2-2 is strong. It is March 22nd, after all.
Yeah, that's true. But the main reason I say that is like, IG were looking good when the heroes were like at their peaks, and that was purely because they got the Aegis on the first time when the game was looking bad. They turned it around, and then they kind of had this second wind where their lineup hit its secondary peak. Now LFY have this situation where all three of their cores are absolute monsters. And then they have one of the best heroes in the game as their 4-position support to back them up.
Oh, Faceless Void's caught. He's going to go down. Yeah, he could not get away.
I mean, he has no buyback either.
No, and so, you know, as I was just mentioning, man.
I mean, they can, as I said, they can do this. You know, they can make the game more entertaining for us viewers. Because it's going to take a lot for them to throw it.
Yeah, they do have
a lot.
Well, they do have good counter push as well. You know, Sakata just sitting back here with that Mjolnir now and right-clicking everything down, all those creep waves. So, going to kind of push out the base.
I'd love to see them hold this and take it to Megas. That would be super entertaining.
Why not? Definitely a possibility, especially after what we kind of just saw right there. Faceless Void. He did end up getting the plus 600 time walk cast range, and yeah, I mean that's got to feel so good for. I mean, what was the? Does that include the range now? So it basically doubles the range of that time walk. It looks like.
Correct.
So.
I think almost all the talents are added into tooltips now.
Yeah.
If not, the majority of them should be. There's always something that you forget. There's so many things in this game.
There are a couple other level 25s. OD, I don't know if his is as impactful, but you got the Spell Lamp or the 60-second Arcane Orb in Steel. Which one he goes for there. Juggernaut, kind of the same story.
These fights don't last long enough for the in-Steel duration to matter, I think.
Yeah.
Unless he's planning to... then it takes it up to just over 2 minutes. So you can win a fight and still start the next fight with a huge sanities. And with Abaddon, you can steal like 40 int off him alone just in borrowed time. Maybe even more than that because he's got a Moonshard, so his attack speed's pretty good.
Yeah.
But both of them are pretty weak level 25 talents, I'd say, in comparison to certain other heroes. But Odie's just a strong hero. He doesn't need stronger talents, please, for the love of God. Don't do it.
Talking about strong ones, on the other side, I mean, Weaver's is actually considered pretty strong. That plus 200 Shikuchi move speed. Pretty intense, so. And he's almost there, actually. He's almost got the race car ability kicking in. But here comes another chance for LFY in terms of trying to find a catch-up here. Or Faceless, he's just going to farm out the top lane. There is Disruptor up there, but now he ports back to base.
This is just like clinical now. Take the Shrine, take Roche, force the other team back to their base. And I think IG kind of... I don't think they can deal with Megas. I think they have to kind of try and contest this. But it's... I mean, it's so hard to go into the pit. Like, Abaddon can give you some vision, I suppose. He's pretty tanky.
Oh, that's that borrowed time. There, put him under immediately.
I think he can blink away.
Nope.
He did.
Wait, he did. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Bar time and stuff stops the damage, so he can blink.
Okay.
Monkey King, however...
Not so lucky, or maybe. They know he's over here, but...
Yeah, they missed the hook. And this is insanely laggy, so I will reconnect again.
Alright. Well, he gets away. So, makes the escape right there. Obviously, another Roshan is on the list here. Cheese this time around. So, immediately LFY goes right out over to it. And you look to do it quickly. It's iG.Vitality. Again, in case, even if they wanted to be able to stop this, they probably wouldn't be able to. So, it's going to be a free Aegis for... Who are they giving it to? Huh.
I imagine Void picks up one item, OD picks up the other. Because Helm still works while it's in your backpack, which is completely broken.
Abaddon, he's kind of going in. Now, it's not going to be stolen, though. Super actually on the OD will pick it up. Wukong's command. Kind of prevent them from jumping in, if anything. And there we go. So wait, what did you just mention? Helm still works in the backpack?
Yeah, you still have the creep when it's in your backpack.
Oh, in that sense. Okay, I thought the aura still worked. I was about to say that is absurd, but so
No,
just the
but
dominated creep. Okay.
Yeah, you can still have it placed on the map and you can BOT to it, unless they fixed it in the patch. But he doesn't have a creep right now, I believe, so I can't confirm.
Okay.
But he picks up a defusal instead now, so OD's just gonna give the keys to Pudge instead, which is pretty good considering he's got a blade mail, and him lasting longer in fights just means more hooks, which has been pretty good for them so far this game. So
Oh yeah.
especially if he finds more.
And you were saying,
The
dismember.
int steal.
In July though, pops a borrowed time. Put him under. Here we go again. There's that blink though. So deja vu.
Yeah, he needs time.
Chronosphere, he hits a couple, he hits 4 heroes actually, they ran into a sniper sitting with a distance eclipse though, going off. Weaver's gonna stay there this time. Sakata's sitting in the fountain. He's putting in a lot of damage though, but nobody's able to buy back. Monkey King did, I guess, after he shortly died right there. But that Chronosphere, I mean, sure, he had a little bit of help with him walking into it, but nice one to finish it off, and there we go. Officially, the GG's gonna be called, and there's a troll hook to finish it off from White right there. Yeah, I like to kind of look at games like this and think about who got the MVP, and I think you could argue Pudge was actually the MVP that game. He really did have a lot of big hooks throughout that game. So
I would agree. If you're gonna name one player, he probably made the most impact. But as a team, I think LFY played pretty well. I also think they just had this entire series feels like the draft won both games. In the situation, IG were putting themselves on kind of a timer, and they had these really strong windows that if you messed them up, which they did, you don't really have a secondary option. Whereas LFY, they played at all stages of the game. Sure, some of them were weaker than others, but their draft was very well rounded. You could say the same about the first series when IG won the first game. Their draft was just a bit more well rounded and could play at all stages of the game.
yeah.
So they didn't auto-lose when the game goes to 40 minutes.
Yeah, as you'd expect, and again, we mentioned going into it kind of two evenly matched teams in a lot of ways, especially with the standings, both in that 4 and 5 spot, even of the 12 teams in total here in this DPL, the top league that is. And, it's going to remain in that same area because obviously they end in a draw here, and can't be too surprised by that result, really. So I guess grats to both teams, you could say, as they split the series. But that's going to be it for our first series here. Our next series is going to be kicking off pretty quickly here. I believe the lobby's already being hosted, in fact. So we're going to take a short break, but we got a next game coming up, and I got to say, this one I'm really looking forward to because this one, we got two teams that are both going to be at the Kiev Major. In fact, both were invited to the Kiev Major. We have Newbie going up against VGJ in a best-of-2 series. This should be good. This should be good. So, guys, yeah? Oh, you said hype. Okay, I thought you were about to say something.
No, just hype.
And now the hype is ruined. No.
My bad.
The hype is real. The hype is real. I really am excited. Hopefully you guys are as well, despite it being 4 a.m. in the morning for me. I'm excited to watch some good Chinese Dota action here. Two great teams going at it. So sit tight, guys. I'm Breaking CBK, joined by PQMC here. We got game 1 of that best-of-2 coming up next. We'll be right back.